Hello, my friends. It's 11 a.m. on September the 1st, on Sunday, 2024. Well, as you guys know, some incident happened there yesterday. I don't remember what. And there was also a shooting down in the Byward market. Not last night, but the night before, there was a shooting. So there was a blood spatter there by storage boxes. Somebody ex-military who called the police. And because of the regular shootings, I found out they don't give a damn anymore. Unless the person wants to report it, it's up to them. He got shot. Yeah, blood splatters there, obviously. All by the storage units. And my ex-military friend looked into all of them to make sure there's no bleeding body there, which is cool. But yeah. This happened around, I guess, 1 a.m. in the morning. Not last night, but the night before, technically. So, yeah. I come from the hospital after my, I got smashed in the face, probably by the neighbors, possibly. I'm not sure what happened. But I didn't even know how I got to the hospital. But obviously, the neighbor who beat me up in the first place was threatening me, and that was reported at least, thank God. But I was downtown with these people, iffy people. I don't know how I called the ambulance, how I got there, but the investigation is on. Could be the guy down my hall who beat me up before and threatened to kill me, possibly. But we don't know, do we? Until the police do the investigation and find out what the hell happened. I don't even know where I called 911 from. I didn't have a phone. Ended up in hospital. I left the hospital at 12:30. Money came in. I took a cab downtown before 1 a.m. That's where I saw the this person taking on a bunch of a gang. Looks like a bunch of, okay, I don't want to be racist, but they all were a bunch of group of black people, but they never punched each other. No blows came to be, but there was confrontation. And I saw the blood splatter flew down. He heard a gunshot. So there definitely was a shooting down in the market for sure that morning around 1 a.m. And by the time we checked the storage units, he called the police. They don't want him to call anymore because he reports it too much. But there was obviously a blood splatter there at shooting there again in the market. And the police didn't want nothing to do with it. All they said was if the guy want help, he would have gone to the hospital or reported it. So in my opinion, I think probably it was some kind of gangsterism going on or a drug deal gone bad, something like that. Something like that. Or someone owed money and someone shot somebody, something like that. Loan shark maybe was involved, who knows. I used to date ex-loan sharks, so I know. Anyway, yeah, it was a crazy week. And there have been multiple shootings in the market area in Ottawa. Here in Ottawa, Ontario, there have been multiple shootings. So it's not the first incident of a shooting going on. The last incident was in June. I checked on Google, but I am giving you the facts of a shooting that happened here in the market just not last night, but the night before. And violence against Indigenous people has got to stop. This has got to stop. I'm not sure it's a neighbor who attacked me. I don't even know how I got to the hospital. And I'm on a drinking rampage right now. I have to cut down due to the assault against me, due to the fact that I found out my family member has died from murder, and she's an 80-year-old, 70-plus woman in a walker who was murdered. I found out from my uncle. It's been a rough week. It really has been a rough week. The neighbor down the hall possibly may have done this. I don't know. But finding out My family member was murdered. Who would murder somebody in a wheelchair? Like, not a wheelchair, but a walker. Who would murder somebody? Who would murder an indigenous elder? So the murdered indigenous cases are up there, even with elderly women. And that's a sad fact. And that's the truth. It's been a bad week. It's been a really crazy bad week. Very bad week for me. You know, I'm getting messed up early because of all these things going on. Yes, and it's before even noon I'm drinking. I mean, just crazy. Racism will not stop. Violence against these people will not stop. Look what happened to me. Again, total bullshit. But shooting in the market did happen 2 nights ago. Around 1 a.m.ish, I guess. So I went to the bar after we checked the storage units to make sure there was no body there and everything. And multiple calls to the legal services and so forth. But, whatever. There's another shooting that happened in the Byward market in Ottawa, Ontario. And more violence against this person. And a family member of mine who's Indigenous, an elder, was murdered, I found out. So that's what's messing me up right now. Racism and hatred toward Indigenous people, violence toward Indigenous people is still alive and out there. Like, as you can see. And the fact that my family member was murdered, who's an elder. That is total BS and it's totally crazy. So, yeah. I'm kind of messed up. Well, I'm very messed up. Been on a binge for like a few days since I found out my family member has died and murdered. So, no more stolen sisters. Doesn't matter if the elder, especially an elder, who's on a walker. Who would kill an elder? Just shocking. It really shook me up. The violence inflicted toward me, death threats with the neighbors down the hall. They have not been evicted yet. They do the drugs, they do their everything. And then the community housing comes over my place when I'm depressed. I'm going through depression as well since this news. Bunch of bullies. Get rid of the drug dealers. Get rid of the prostitutes. Do a safety check on that bitch down the hall. She has drugs of everything. Crack, cocaine, blow, pills. Why don't you guys damn well check up on her? Instead of being racist toward me, who's being beat up and fucking threatened by a bunch of criminals, obviously. And I won't be surprised if there's gangsterism involved as well. So OCH, the community housing has had 2 lawsuits, I know that. One for sexual harassment. And of course they're going to protect the prostitute because they want sex, and sexual harassment charge will prove that as well. So that's another thing as well. And the violence against these people, not right. Not right at all. The drugs going on here. She is kind of calling up to an OCH member here. And amazingly, she was not drunk. Amazingly, I was impressed. First time in her whole life, she was not on drugs. But there was a history of violence toward her as well. She actually had to get stitches under her eye. She got punched by her ex-boyfriend. Her ex-boyfriend caused a lot of trouble. And apparently even threatened to kill someone with a knife. Just like the guy down the hall who punched me out. 2 violent people here keep coming in here, and these people are not evicted. But yet my ex-boyfriend was evicted for one incident. But these people with violence are not evicted. Now that is something to look into. How come these violent people, especially against these people, are not evicted? I never got a conversation. I never did a lawsuit, but I should have done that. But there could still be a lawsuit for violence against indigenous people, protecting the drug dealers, protecting the prostitutes. They're covering the tracks now. Of course they are. That's what they do. But believe me, they will do it again. Guaranteed. Within time. Right now, they're really focusing trying to evict me. But I go through depression and everything. I turn my back out after another assault. And I don't want to talk about that. Another assault again. Probably from the neighbor down the hall. I had a report. A fucking threat. Maybe another seizure. But, but obviously this is like falling down is one thing. But the fact that I have bruise here indicates that someone punched me. If you fall down, I understand you have a bruise here. That's okay. But if you have a bruise here, that's making any sense. I was punched again in the face, obviously. And I was just recently threatened by the neighbor down the hall, recently as well, and reported. So this violence has got to stop. It has to stop. That's why I'm drinking like crazy, and that's why finding out my family member died, was murdered, doesn't help either. And she's an elder. Who would murder somebody on a walker? Especially an indigenous woman. Who would fucking kill her? And she was murdered. My uncle told me that she was murdered. And she's definitely family. Who would murder an elderly woman? Indigenous elderly woman. Again, violence against indigenous people has got to stop. I can't believe she's gone. I can't believe she was murdered. And the violence toward me won't stop. The racism won't stop. Dealing with racism on the street and Mayor Street and Mayor Center and everything, that's okay. Fuck it. But coming home and dealing with racism and violence from a guy who should have been evicted after the assault, he should have been evicted. Proper manager evicted him because violence toward me, and it was on the camera. He should have been evicted. The tenant worker should have told the police of every incident of the harassment from these neighbors, even though they lied their asses off. It should have been notated and reported to police. But this tenant worker protects them. And she blocked me because I'm indigenous. And I refuse to take violence against indigenous people anymore. She calls criminals, just like everyone else in this community housing establishment. I'm not going to tolerate it. I'm speaking out. And there was a shooting in the market as well, unfortunately. Hopefully that person is okay. But as the police told us when they finally came, after that shooting and the blood splatter, that person has the right not to report it. That person has the right not to go to hospital. The pub was a gangster, a gang-related incident or a drug dealer gone wrong. Whether it was a he, whether it was a she, it does not matter. That person has the right to not go to hospital, I guess, and so forth. Shooting in the market was, obviously it was another shooting. And I'm the one who's talking about it. And I'm talking about the violence against indigenous people and why this guy is not evicted and these violent people are not evicted. And they cuddle up, especially a prostitute who cuddles up and they get sexual favors. And this community establishment has been sued before for sexual harassment cases. So of course they're going to cuddle up a prostitute who does sexual favors for them. So do the math. And they don't protect indigenous rights, violence against women, and they don't know fuck all about it. They should have evicted that guy a long time ago. Instead of trying to evict me because I'm indigenous, protect the criminals, protect the violence against me. Yeah, you guys have no idea who you're messing with. Yeah, but that shooting in the market, I covered this before any news establishment, so I'll do it. There was another shooting in the market. And I'm covering it first before the news does, including the violence against women, indigenous people, and how community housing cuddles up to the criminals, cuddles up to the prostitutes, cuddles up to the drug running here, cuddles up to the violence against indigenous people. That guy should have been evicted way after the damn assault that happened many years ago. Hence, I lost so much weight. It's a horror living here. And I do not deserve this violence against me, this racism against me. I worked hard. I couldn't even maintain a job because of the harassment, because of the fear of being beat up again. That's another thing. So yeah, I'm kind of messed up now. I'm drinking too much, to be honest. My drinking has gone up big time, to be honest. I'm being honest. It's gone up big time since the assault, since the shooting in the market, since the incident finding out about my family member who got murdered, who's an elder. That's just crazy. It's been a rough week. And yeah. No more violence against women, indigenous people. There was a shooting in the market there a few nights ago. And my family member, who's an elder, was murdered too as well, which is unacceptable. The murdered, no more stolen sisters and elders are no exception for this violence against them. As we now know that a family member of mine has been murdered who's an elder. So that's not right. This has got to stop. It has to stop. I work hard. I can't maintain a job without being harassed and threatened by these people who have made regular schedule and quit a job because of these criminal activities here. And obviously gangsterism is involved, obviously. There's definitely a gang involved. This has got to stop. The gun and gang unit has to be involved in this case, because I'm going to do a lawsuit for discrimination. Why don't I check on her and check for drugs all the time with her? She has drugs of every kind, and have a witness to fucking prove that. So do something with this low life. Although this witness is now with her and has probably all the drugs stashed at his house, the ex-boyfriend, the guy with the white beard, then check into him. Criminal activity going there, and that's probably what's all stashed. Maybe, I don't know. Anywho, yeah, this violence against indigenous people and that shooting in the market that did happen, and the murder of an elder indigenous woman. No more stolen sisters. And the market area is a very violent place. The news covers it. The last incident was in July or June, I saw in Google. But there's a new shooting that happened, and gangs are involved, obviously. So, yeah. Take care, stay safe. And you're going to hear about this new shooting in the market. It probably it happened around in the middle of overnight. That's when it happens, but it could happen in the day too. You never know. So please be careful. Stay safe. Watch your back. And this has got to stop. This has got to stop. This has got to stop before I get murdered next. I have death threats from these neighbors. Why didn't proper manager evict them? Why they're trying to evict me and coming at me and doing inspections? Inspect the people for the drugs. Yeah, protect the criminals. Protect the fucking losers. Protect the violence against women. This could cause for a lawsuit. Anyways, take care, stay safe. I'm going to see a lot about 2 other cases too as well for racism and compensation. And in this case as well, with community housing here as well for extreme racism and protecting and coddling people who are known prostitutes and drug dealers and violence against me. So there's going to be a lawsuit there, probably more than likely. So take care, stay safe, make rich. No more violence and no more stolen sisters. And yeah, be careful being in the market, especially after hours. That's when the shooting happened. Take care, my friends. Talk to you soon.